Hi, I'm Matt with State of Flex here to talk to you about In the Heights. This is the latest Warner Brothers release that is on the hybrid schedule with HBO Max as well as theatrical distribution. Um, and if ever there was a movie that's designed to be seen in the theater, it's a movie like this. The music is swelling and engaging. Watching this in a crowd of people who might be interacting with the audience or interacting with the music would be really powerful. There's quite a bit of sweetness, tenderness, humor. This is a really fun and engaging film from director John M. Chu, who previously did Crazy Rich Asians, and the music is by Lin-Manuel Miranda of Hamilton fame. The music in the film isn't quite as catchy as Hamilton, and I think one of the disservice this film has is the amazing trailer. The trailer, if you're not familiar with the play that In the Heights was, sort of sells a movie that's going to have a really vibrant and poppy soundtrack. Not that this film doesn't have that to some extent. This is more of a traditional musical, almost a la Les Miserables or Sweeney Todd, in that almost every single beat of the film is done through lyrical script. You have almost no scenes where there's like people talking. It's everybody singing their feelings, their emotions, and singing to tell and further the story. Whereas the trailer kind of makes it seem it's going to go more the like Greatest Showman route, where it's going to be fun poppy pop songs that you can sing and jam along to. Certainly the songs that are in this are good, but it works better as a narrative device to create a flow through the movie. This isn't one where you're going to necessarily be singing every song afterwards. There's no real earworms to get stuck in your head or anything like that. Anthony Ramos is the lead actor, and he's fantastic. He has like a rich energy that he brings to the performance. He can really hit the beats of pathos, and that's all strong. The film does have like a slow burn quality to it, as I feel like most stage play adaptations do. When you have an adaptation of a stage play, intermissions are designed to go in there, so oftentimes when you get to the film, the intermission's not there, so things seem a little overlong. So the first half of this film is very narratively heavy, and the last half is payoff. And the last half of payoff is exceptional, really incredibly strong. So that does really work out for the film's favor at the end of the day. That said, there is a lot of fat that could have been trimmed here and there. I think the film has two kind of storylines that it's following. One about like this dreamers act movement that's all very good, and then one about this man who's chasing his father's dream of going back to this beach, and the film is built around this framework of this beach where he's telling these children the story of how they got there. And at the end of the day, I think to streamline the film a little and make it just a little tighter, a little stronger, I would have lifted the Dreamer stuff and probably saved that for like an In the Heights 2 or like the flip side of this. Have those characters have that kind of going on distilled into the background, but have the one at the forefront and never let this storyline take over. And then like if this movie proves to have been a success, which right now is not necessarily looking that way, but word of mouth could build. Like in a year or two's time, give us this the B side of this same story, the other half of the story from the Blackout with the Dreamers thing, because I think that is a really interesting storyline that doesn't get its full attention. However, it's beautiful and it makes for the greatest dance number that I kind of drew a picture of here in the film. Visually, this film is stunning. It makes great use of color, vibrancy, and is excellently shot. And I I am married to a Latin American woman, and I felt like this film, which is very immersive in Latin American culture, is really quite interesting in how the film captures that. Like it did hit me on kind of personal levels, hearing from stories within her family, and seeing that kind of experience brought to the forefront of a major motion picture is very, very important to see. I really appreciated that, and I thought it was handled very, very well within the narrative of this film. I love the framework and how that pays off throughout the film and its sprinklings, especially in its conclusion. Anthony Ramos, I think, should be in conversation at year's end for his performance. He is just really quite strong, as is the director of this film. This is one of the first very, very strong films of 2021 that has any like meat to it in what it's trying to say and communicate with its audience. I was a little underwhelmed upon initial watching because the trailer kind of sold me a different experience than the one I was given, but with more time to really let the film soak in its meanings. And I work at a movie theater, so I do hear the songs kind of over and over again. Hearing them back more and more has really, the movie's really crept up on me quite a bit. That's actually kind of why this review is coming late. It's a very positive review, but it was a slow build to that extreme positivity. I do end up giving this movie 3.5 stars, but it was the experience that the trailers were selling me on versus the experience that I initially was having while watching the movie wasn't necessarily the same. And so it took me a little while to appreciate it, but appreciate I do, and I think that this movie should be seen. I'm in fact excited to give it a second viewing. But if you get a chance to, do go out in the theaters to see this with an audience if you can, because I do think that helps really create the experience and stuff. And there's some great moments here. I didn't even talk about the Abuela storyline. She is lovely, as well as Jimmy Schmitz, who I'm a fan of him just in general, and he's quite good in this. In his sort of smaller role. There's a lot of little minor roles here and there. But the only other thing that kind of a little bit underwhelmed me was the lead actress. I think has an incredible singing voice, but she eye acts a little bit. I think she will develop into quite a good actress at some point, but I don't know if she was necessarily the perfect fit for this film. However, the film is good enough that that's sort of like a minor complaint. She's not bad, she's just not particularly great. So anyway, I give In the Heights 3.5 stars. Do see this. See it in the theater if you get a chance. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this film? Did you like it? Did it take a little while for you to kind of grow into your appreciation, as it did me? Drop down in the comments below.